Hi, today we're gonna play with a bunch of new drugstore makeup. I went to, is it CVS? I went to CVS and I just purchased whatever I could get my hands on, essentially. I made some other purchases from Ulta.com because I don't know if you guys live in a big city, but a lot of the time, either the drugstore stuff is like behind closed doors, all right, and you need a key to get in, or it's just completely tapped out, completely tapped out. And my CVS is usually like that. But we're gonna be using all drugstore brands. One of the foundations that I picked up, which looks like the best tone, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm a fair warm olive, is the e.l.f. Soft Glam Satin Foundation in the shade Fair Warm 12. It definitely leans a little bit more on the yellowy side, but some of the other foundations that I picked up from like Joa Brown and I think a Wet n Wild one were just like a little bit too orangey, a little bit too orangey pink, leaning a little too red, basically. So this is supposed to be a buildable, just right coverage, long wearing satin finish, love a satin finish, hydrating foundation that is anything but basic K. You can use a brush or a sponge. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand. I don't know if anyone else cares if they see my mirror in the camera or in the whatever, but it really bothers me. So I have to need to not have it in there. Tuck my little hairs. You gotta tuck your hers. All right, I'm not using drugstore brushes, so please just don't hate me. If there's one thing I think you should spend money on, it's your tools. So I'm actually gonna use the Refer Bio 4 brush to apply this. I'm just gonna pick up a teeny bit from the back of my hand, like that, and then I'm just going to pat it on the back of my hand so that I'm kind of like working it into the bristles. I'm experimenting because I'm trying to use sunscreen in my videos more often, so I'm experimenting with brushes for foundation application. And I really like this brush. It's a little large for my taste. Whatever, this video isn't about the brush. So far, let's see, I need a hand mirror. I am experiencing a teeny bit of peeling. My skin is peeling a little bit in this area. This is just like aftermath of going in a little bit too much with my acne medications. You know, takes forever. Don't dehydrate your skin, people. This is definitely a hydrating foundation. It's giving my skin like a really nice, healthy kind of moisturized look. Not in an oily way, which hopefully will help to combat some of the dryness that I have going on. It is maybe like a shade or half a shade light for me, but I don't really mind that. Okay, I'm gonna give you a deep zoom because I just want you to see this area. I'm peeling really bad around my nose, here, my lip, this area right here. But the other areas of my face where I don't have super dry skin look really, really nice. The moral of the story there is that what I should have done is not dermaplaned last night. And I should have probably done a sheet mask first thing this morning rather than looking in the mirror, seeing my dry skin and ignoring it. But we're all human and we mess up, and I did today. Other than that, I think the color is pretty nice. I do wish that it was like half a shade darker, but it's not the end of the world. I just look like a little bit of I look like Casper the Friendly Ghost with dark circles. I don't have a color corrector, so I'm just gonna quickly go in with Nougatine just to color correct underneath my eyes from NARS. Now I picked up two different concealers. I picked up my L'Oreal Infallible, but in a slightly lighter shade, which is Eggshell. Eggshell. I usually use Ivory, but I just wanted to have like a slightly lighter shade. But since my foundation is so light, I'm actually going to use CoverGirl, which is ever so slightly lighter, and then I'm just gonna kind of like warm up with, we have a nice bronzing product that I'm excited to use. This one is in the shade Fair Porcelain. And I'm also just like, this is a concealer I've never used before, so I wanna try it. I'm gonna put that on the back of my hand. We're gonna be pretty highlighted today. I gotta say, I'm actually pretty impressed with how much coverage this concealer is providing. I don't think that I've ever used a CoverGirl concealer that was full coverage enough for me. And I don't know how old this product is. I don't know that I mentioned this. These aren't necessarily products that are brand new. Some of them are, but they are all brand new to me. Please hold for the trash. I'm gonna go ahead and set that with my e.l.f. Halo Glow Powder and light while we wait for the trash people to be finished. Yeah, I'm super surprised to be... They're still being so loud. Why won't they go away? Do you have any brow products? Oh my god, finally. Jeez, that was so loud. That's the problem with living on like the corner of a street. Why would that have anything to do with it? Whatever. Anyway, I just started filling my brows. This isn't a drugstore product. I don't have any drugstore brow products new. I was very impressed by that CoverGirl concealer because I feel like I've never used a CoverGirl concealer before that was actually like full coverage. But I guess like it's very much like, if you look at the packaging, it's very much like inspired by Shape Tape. And then they all kind of like followed, you know, like L'Oreal, e.l.f., all of those brands. So while the color is a little bit light, I actually do kind of like it for highlighting. I don't think that I prefer using, it's fine with this foundation. I don't know if I prefer using it with this foundation. All right, we'll come back and finish brows later on. I want to use a contour and bronzer product. I don't have a new contour, but I do have a new bronzer product that I'm very excited about. Where did it go? So these are the Milani Conceal and Perfect Sun-Kissed Liquid Bronzing Drops. This is the shade Light, 110 Light. And I'm just very intrigued by these. It just says that they're illuminating drops. So I'm just gonna put these on the back of my put this on the back of my hand so you can see the color first. I just am intrigued. I'm intrigued. Okay, I like it. I like it. I don't know that this color is like necessarily the best bronzing color for me. I'm gonna do this before I contour just so that you can see it on its own. I'm gonna be using my brush with Refer. The AA01 brush. Hey, that's the thing, is I picked up the formula. Like I remember I picked it up and I gave a little swatch, and it's very liquidy and it's definitely illuminating. And I was just kind of like, ooh, interesting. Like I don't know, I just liked it. So I'm gonna start off on my forehead, and I kind of just want to see like how it works. Like, is it gonna break up my foundation? The color is definitely a little red toned for me personally, my personal preference and my skin. I like something that's like a little bit more on the golden side, but I don't think it's bad. It is very illuminating though. Like, I don't know how well you can see. It's pretty sheer, but I feel like it's a little bit is going a long way also. But like, damn, it really, like my skin was already looking pretty glowy, but it definitely amped up the glow on my forehead. So if you don't want something super like illuminating, I mean, they are literally like, look at that. That's illuminating, you know what I mean? But that's kind of why I was intrigued by it. So I'm gonna focus this up higher on the cheekbone for some warmth, because I don't contour with a bronzer. My skin is too light to contour with a bronzer. It always ends up being too warm. If you do have a lot of texture, you probably won't like this product, but it is a cream or liquid. I just kind of feel like the formula itself might be really beautiful for someone who doesn't wear makeup or has flawless skin, you know? Because it is really like illuminating. It can be really beautiful to just naturally enhance the glow of someone's skin, even if they like don't wear makeup. If you do wear makeup, it feels like the formula is just like a little bit too liquidy to layer on top of anything more than a skin tint, to be honest. Like, I think it looks okay, but in terms of the finish, it's definitely pulling up a little bit of the coverage of the foundation, which isn't the end of the world for me because I always do my spot concealing technique, but yeah, definitely glowy, real glowy, real glowy. Real glowy. God, I'm so peely on the bottom. I can only apologize. That's all I can do. All right, I'm gonna quickly just do a little bit of contouring because I don't have a drugstore one. Okay, L'Oreal came out with these Lumi liquid blushes that are very, very pretty. There are some that have like, this one is like a matte formula. You can see like this really beautiful peach color. And then this one is, which is Dewy Rich Coral. That makes like a, yeah, corally kind of color. And then this one is Glowy Gold Pink, which is exactly that, like super glowy. Definitely like a little bit more on the pink side than this, but it still has that kind of like corally tone to it. And it has like a slightly pinker base, but with gold reflex in it. Since I'm using that very glowy bronzer, I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use the more matte one, but it just seems like a really beautiful color. So I'm going to put a little bit of that on the back of my hand. Ziva's eating. She only will eat in here because she doesn't trust Boo. Boo tries to steal her food, so I feel like you can hear that, and it just sounds really gross. But it's the only place that she'll eat. I got these new cat bowls recently that are like mazes, you know, so that they don't eat too fast. And they have little ears, like cat ears on them. And it took her 3 days to eat out of it. Like, she was terrified of it. She was like, what is this thing? Like, I don't understand. She would run away from it. I'm gonna use my brush. Same deal, picking it up. Tapping it off. This does look pretty pigmented. Ooh, but nice and blendable. I did swatch these and they seemed really nice. So I'm gonna focus this like right under the top of the cheekbone. Look how pretty. Blendable. Kind of like do a scooping kind of motion. Ooh, that is very pigmented. I usually wouldn't set my under eye before doing this, but I kind of got messed up with my order. So yeah, I'm kind of going over a little bit of areas where I have powder, which I don't like doing because I feel like I can see a teeny bit of separation. But again, I'm human and I mess up. And I clearly messed up. That is a beautiful shade. Look at that. That is summer to me. Although I have to say I'm very over summer and I'm ready for fall. So pretty. Big fan. When I saw them at first, I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be into this, but very beautiful. And the colors seem pigmented enough so that they'll be more versatile for deeper skin, but I don't know. You guys let me know. They sent me, how many did they send me? They sent me 6 shades. I don't know if that's fully like the shade range. Gorge. Oh, so beautiful for my skin tone. Truly. Love that. Love that. Very happy with that. So I'm going to go in and set the rest of my face. I'm going to be using a new powder. I usually use the Maybelline Fit Me. This is the CoverGirl Clean Invisible powder that I picked up in the shade 105 Translucent Fair, which seems fine. I'm going to use my little LH Cosmetics puff to pick this up in the cap. Press it on the back of my hand. Now I'm going to be really careful in the areas that I'm extremely dry, like around my nostrils, not to put powder there because it's like, you can already see just like a ton of peeling skin. I don't need to bring any more attention to that area. And again, around my chin, I'm going to be really, really careful. So it's just basically like this part that gets really shiny. I'm not going to take it anywhere near that dry skin because the drier you make it look, the more that flaky skin is going to stand out. All my people who are like starting tretinoin, stay strong, okay? It's pretty finely milled, mattified nicely. Color seems nice, not too light. My skin can be kind of difficult to find like the right color for, but it has like a pretty good like golden tone to it, which just seems to be working with my like overall coloring really nicely. So I do like that. All right, I'm gonna go in and do a little bit of spot concealing, which I meant to do before my powder, but I forgot because I'm just having a good day today. When it comes to spot concealing, sometimes I intentionally do it after I do a light amount of powder because it helps to keep that concealer in place gives it like a little grip. And I think I remember Lisa Eldridge saying in her spot concealing video that I watched forever ago, so I might be misquoting, but I'm pretty sure she was like, when it comes to spot concealing and you need that like coverage, like all bets are off. Like layering powder and layering cream over powder, go for it. Like do what you need to do to get it done. Okay, I bought this Joa Brown Airlight Soft Powder Blush that's really beautiful. Really nice color. Kind of reminds me of my Kyer Weiss. Ooh, yeah, like very similar. This is a cream and this is a powder. But look at that. If you're like looking for, stop. If you're looking for a color dupe for this Kyer Weiss, and because you're very, very fair skinned, this Joa Brown, really nice in the shade Cool Magnolia. My skin has such a nice like hydrated glow with that blush and bronzer duo that I just don't want to put a powder on top of it, you know? So yeah, just wanted to throw that in there though. Okay, now for the areas that are really dry or patchy or look kind of crazy or need a little bit more coverage. For instance, this area right here, I have this powder foundation, or this is the Light Illusion Perfecting Powder from Flower Beauty. It definitely like, it's a perfecting powder. Blurring pigments, buildable coverage. I kind of like assumed that it was a powder foundation. So I'm gonna use my little puff. Just gonna pat into it. Pat off on the back of my hand, and I'm going to just lightly press this in these areas where I have this dry skin to kind of like blur. And we are going to be going in with a setting spray. Okay, for my setting spray, oh man, I have two of them that I really want to try. So this is the L'Oreal Infallible 3-Second Setting Mist, which is supposed to be like super long wear and transfer resistant. It looks like a hairspray. It kind of reminds me of their version of like the Patrick Star setting spray. But then I also have this Make It Last sunscreen, which is a sunscreen setting spray from Milani, which is SPF 30. If I'm honest, let me look at the ingredients. Oh, this has avobenzone, homosalate, octasalate, and octocrylene, and those all sting my eyes like crazy. So I'm very reluctant to try this. I feel like I'm gonna probably give this a shot on my own one day, just randomly, so that if there is a problem, I can just go and wash my face. So I'll keep you posted on this one. But this is a new product, so I'm gonna try the L'Oreal Infallible 3-Second Setting Spray. Ooh. It just smells like hairspray. Oh my god, that was really intense. Okay, this is a hairspray for your face. This is a hairspray for your face. This is just hairspray for your face. It's a hairspray for your face. I wasn't expecting that. It's just like so much. It's just a lot. I was kind of hoping for something that would, damn it. Okay, not drugstore at all, but I'm gonna go in with my Vive setting mist now, just to kind of like melt everything. The NYX Dewy setting mist used to be like a go-to for me. I just like haven't been using dewy setting mists. This literally like got in my hair. It feels like hairspray. Ooh. Ooh, it's stingy a little bit on my like raw skin. Hold on. I just need something to like melt, you know what I mean? Melt the powder, especially around those areas that are super duper dry. Bring a little hydration. It might look crazy, but I am saturating the areas where I have that extremely dry, flaky skin, because this is a very, very dewy setting spray. And it's great for setting powder so that it like melts in with the rest of your makeup. But because I have this dry, flaky skin, I'm kind of like relying on it to make my complexion look better. Which you shouldn't have to do if you do proper skin prep and you don't over exfoliate or dehydrate your skin, but it's been a problem of mine for a while. But overall, like, you know, from here, the glow of my complexion looks real nice. Like everything looks really nice despite all of the peeliness that's happening, you know? While we wait for that to fully dry, let me give you a deep zoom. You know, like everything looks really beautiful. Like my complexion over here looks so nice. I've got a little bit of peeliness here. And then obviously like my dry, peely skin, which I could lighten that area, but I don't really feel like, maybe I will, you know, I'm waiting for that to kind of like dry. Around my nose, it's peely. But overall, if my stupid skincare wasn't terrible right now, my complexion would look really beautiful. All right, before we go into like eyeshadow and stuff, I'm actually very excited about this. This is the L'Oreal up to 24-hour brow lamination gel. It's clear. And I tried this the other day just on its own. Like I had no makeup on and I was just like, whenever I get a brow setting gel, I'm always like super skeptical. I just assume that they're not going to work. And I'll try them just like on a day when I'm wearing sunscreen or like no makeup, not going anywhere. And I did, and this was pretty legit. Like glued my hairs, okay? So since I used it on a day when I wasn't wearing any makeup, I want to see how it works with like makeup as my base instead of clean skin. It has like a pretty nice and precise little spoolie that like is slightly tilted here. And I don't know if you can see. Do you see that right? Oh, how can I show you? Right there. You see that? There's like a little bit of the gel popping off. The formula seems like really nice and sticky. So I'm just gonna go against my hairs to begin with. I love a super precise spoolie on both sides so that I'm coating every inch of the hair and it really, really stays put. I'm not gonna let it sit too long, then I'm just gonna start brushing it into place. Ooh, girl. I'm so impressed with this. I'm like over the moon. Drugstore is showing up for me today. I couldn't show up, but drugstore is showing up for me. You know what I mean? Damn, it is so, I mean, like this is very, very sticky, like so good. It's really, really gripping the hairs. I can feel the grip as I'm like brushing them out. It feels like they're going to stay put. It also doesn't set like way too quickly. Like there's a nice grip, but it feels like I have time to kind of go back and like, you know, brush out certain hairs, lay them the way that I want. I'm gonna wait for this to dry and then probably go in with a little more pencil to just kind of like fill in the gaps and reshape now that like you can see a little bit of sparse areas. All right, I'm gonna go into my waterline with the Eye Lightener Forever Wear crayon from Flower Beauty. This is in Moonstone. It's just basically like a super brightening pencil. Ooh, very creamy. I don't know if this will be great for my waterline because of how creamy it is. Ooh, very creamy. Just softening that line before it totally sets. And hopefully it does because it's in my waterline. Okay, my brow hairs have ever so slightly fallen, like over here. Just like they're not as like set as my brow, as my soap. And they're still a little tacky, so I'm just gonna leave them for now. I'm going to go in with this kohl pencil. It says it's a kohl crayon from Wet n Wild in the shade Taupe of the Morning. It seems pretty waxy for a kohl. Can you see that? Like, I don't know. It's not really, I'm trying to warm it up on the back of my hand, but it seems a little waxy for a kohl pencil. But I'm gonna use this to line just underneath my waterline. I was intrigued by the color because it looked like it would be a nice color for my skin. I do like that color for my skin. I'm just gonna go in with my Rephr 02 and buff. It looks nice, just like a little definition. It complements the natural colors around my eyes really nicely. I was worried that it might be a little too khaki, like a little too mustard almost, but I think it works. And it's definitely, for a kohl, it's just like, it's pretty waxy. So like it's got, it's pulling on my skin. It's not super creamy. The Flower Beauty pencil that I put in my waterline is really creamy. I kind of wish that the formulas were flipped. I'm gonna put that on the outer, I'm gonna just tap off my lid. I'm gonna be using a stick eyeshadow, but I want to put this on like the very outer part around my eye, just because it's smaller and it has more precision. I just want to make sure that I'm filling any gaps. Really doesn't even look like I'm wearing anything. You see that? It just kind of fills in, like I have like a slightly lighter little area between my lid and my lashes, and it just kind of like fills in that area, you know? Interesting. I like that. Okay, for my eyeshadow, I'm gonna be trying, once again from L'Oreal, the Le Shadow Sticks. This one is in the shade Magnetic Bronze 230, and they're kind of like rounded like this, and I'm hoping that they're easy to blend. So I'm gonna grab my Sigma E54 brush, just so it's ready. And then I'm gonna place this basically all over the lid. Ooh, it feels kind of cooling. And then I'm just gonna pat it out. And then as I get to the outer part, I'm still patting. I was gonna say something else, but I'm still just patting. So keeping it put on the lid and in the inner corner, and then slowly patting around the edge of the outer and middle. Got a tiny little bit of patchiness right here. See if I can fill that in. Yeah, not terrible. I'm just gonna be interested to see how it wears. Like, is it gonna end up creasing? Because I have fallen in love with the Half Magic sticks, and these are different. They remind me of, oh, what do they remind me of? There's another stick that they like remind me of so much. They're not quite as, they're a little bit more hydrating feeling than the About Face ones. Like the About Face ones are a little bit more waxy. They seem to blend pretty nicely. Oh, what's stabbing me? An eyelash? Jesus. This is a dangerous business. Okay, I'm not mad at that. The color is nice. You'll probably notice that I didn't use an eyeshadow base. I've noticed that when I use an eyeshadow base with these like stick, it just ends up pilling, which is really annoying. But yeah, so that seems pretty nice. I do have some powder shadow that I want to incorporate. So I'm gonna take a tiny bit of that translucent powder and just place this here around this area. I'm using my Nicula Rose N13 brush. And then I have these Milani palettes that I picked up recently. Ooh, what is this called? Gilded Mini. I love a mini. I like that. How do I open this? It's pretty. So I'm just gonna use the same brush from Nikki, and I'm gonna grab this one right here. It's a little orangey. I lied, I'm tapping between these two shades. I'm tapping between this and this. It's just really hard to show you on screen. And then I'm just gonna take this and lightly buff around the edges. Okay. Pretty colors. Ooh, pretty colors. I like that. You know, they're a little more sheer. They are drugstore. Something to keep in mind. There's a lot of kickback when I put my brush in the palette, but they are blending pretty nice. It's always something to keep in mind when you're going for a drugstore eyeshadow. There's a little bit more chance that there will be fallout of pigment, and it may take you a little bit longer to build up the pigment. Sometimes they're a little bit more transparent. Like there's just like a little bit more filler and less of the actual pigment. Okay, I'm into that. I'm gonna grab from the same palette, the gold. Look at that. Look at it, look at it, look at it. Bruh, look at it. Ooh. Look at it. Why won't you look at it? Ooh. Ooh. I'm gonna pick that up on my ring finger. It feels a little bit dry. That's not creasing so far, which I really appreciate. And I put that on naked lids, you know what I mean? Into it. I'm gonna place this right in the center of the lid. And then I'm gonna grab my E54 and just kind of buff it. Wow, I haven't done like a golden look in such a long time. This feels so foreign to me. I kind of liked it before the gold, but I also like it with the gold. What do you think? Like I kind of like that just like simple smoky eye. And I like how this almost looks like skin-like, you know? And then on my O2 brush, I'm gonna take that first matte shade, the like orangey one, and press that into that eyeliner. And then buff it down my lower lash line. Nice. Ooh, this is like such an old classic Alex look. Dude, I'm not finished. I'm gonna grab, using my O2, I'm gonna pick up the darkest brown, which really isn't that dark. It's really not. It's kind of like, it's almost aubergine. And I'm going to build up a little contrast on that outer corner of the eye. Just a little something. Maybe I need to call this How to Achieve My Pat McGrath Looks with Drugstore. It's absolutely doable. Now I'm just riffing. I'm picking up the orange, that orangey color on my Nikki brush and just blending around that edge. I really wasn't expecting this look to get so, this isn't what I was expecting, basically, but it happened. And continues to happen. Okay, tiny little bits of fallout around here. Well, can you see those little buddies? Gonna try real hard. Okay, they swiped away pretty easy. Not bad, not bad. I'm gonna finish off my brows. You can see they've fallen a little bit. They're not perfectly in place, but I feel like for drugstore, yeah, you can see they've fallen quite a bit. Damn it. I still feel like for drugstore, this is like way better than most of the brow products that I've used. And I have very stubborn, despite being so thin and fine and flat, I have such stubborn brow hairs, they will not like hold up. Just like my stupid eyelashes won't hold a curl. So I have to be very picky about my brow products. I'm gonna go back in with my, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna go in with, what am I gonna use? Maybe ash brown. I'm just gonna use my NYX brow tint pen. Okay, it was a little hard to draw over that brow product. It was a little bit difficult. So I don't know if I like am as obsessed with it now as I was the other day. Like it works really nice. If you're someone who does your brows first, you might really like it because you can put as much as you want on and really like flatten it to the skin. Like if that's what you're looking for, it worked really well. It didn't move. My brows didn't move. However, on top of makeup, I can't do that. So I feel like it's not, for me personally, replacing my soap, but I would recommend it if you're looking for a drugstore product to try for your brows, you know? Does seem pretty good. All right, and then for my inner corner, I'm gonna use that same product in Twinkly Rose from L'Oreal. All right, guys, I just popped on mascara, basically, and I just wanted to give you like a close-up, a nice close-up of everything before I do my lips. So, I am very impressed by complexion, despite the trials and tribulations of operator error when it comes to skincare. And I also love the eye products. Like, look at that. It looks so nice. No creasing, very lightweight, you know, shimmery, impact, love. So for my lips, I have a few different products. I'm gonna start off with this lip liner that I picked up from e.l.f., which is the Cream Glide Lip Liner in a shade, maybe? Cool. Oh my God, they have the tiniest stickers. Why do they do this to me? Baddest Beige, in the shade Baddest Beige. It's literally on the top of the cap. That's the tiniest sticker I've ever seen in my entire life. Ooh. Ooh, I like that color. Damn, there's way more pigment to this than I thought there was gonna be. Okay, I really, really like that lip color with this. This is like such a fall look. So I'm gonna do a lot with this lip liner. I picked up a lipstick that is just like really light. So I just kind of wanna use it to like make this extra pouty. So this is the Wet n Wild Perfect Pout lip color in the shade No More Drama, which is like a very, very light kind of like pinky nude, which isn't gonna work so perfectly with this, but I wanted to try the product. So I'm just gonna focus this in the center of my lip. Huh, okay. It kind of has like a matte balmy texture to it. I like that. I really like the size of it. Just gonna pat that out. Oh, that's nice. I like that. It actually like comes together pretty nicely. I was worried that it would be way too pink, but it's not too pink. That they look actually really pretty together. And then to finish off completely, I'm gonna go in with this lip gloss from Wet n Wild. This is Nudist Peach, which I think will just kind of like tie everything together really nicely. Wait, what? Oh, this is a matte liquid lipstick. I thought this was a gloss. All right, whatever. We're still gonna use it. Grab a brush. This is my Refer 21 brush. That's actually really nice with these eyes. All right, I'm just gonna put a little bit more of this pink. Ooh, okay. All right, guys, this is the finished look. I am very happy with pretty much everything that I used. Even despite the fact that the brow lamination gel kind of started to fall, I actually think it's doing like a pretty nice job. Like my brows look very, very finished, you know? So like, even though it didn't keep them perfectly like stuck in place like my soap does, I think it looks good. I think it's good. Let's do a little recap in reverse. Love the lip pencil. I'm actually kind of surprised because it says that it's a cream glide lip liner and I didn't really get that sense. It's like maybe a little bit more satin. There are a lot of cream lip liners out there that are just a little bit too wet and this one isn't, which is nice. It definitely like gives you enough blending time, you know? It's not super waxy, which is nice. It's softer, so it can be easier to work with. Love it. I think it works so beautifully with this like everything, pretty much all of the tones. This seems nice. I'm not like huge on liquid lipsticks since like 2016, you know, but the color is really pretty. I like the color. And And as far as liquid lipsticks go, it feels relatively comfortable. This little guy is really, really nice. I want more shades in this because I love the size of it. It's just like perfect for like on the go, you know? Plus, I feel like the matte formula of it is like, it's matte, but it's hydrating enough, which is really nice. Pretty color, really nice for like a pop in the center of the lips to give it a little bit more dimension. Big fan of that. Super pleasantly surprised by this CoverGirl concealer. Like I said, gave way more coverage than I was expecting. And the shade seems nice, definitely great for highlighting for my skin tone. Love this. This is actually my first time, I think, using an e.l.f. product an e.l.f. complexion product that like really worked for my skin tone. So I'm very, very happy with that. Like I said, a little bit light, but it's okay. It just kind of means that like when I use it, I will rely a little bit, what is this eyeshadow? I got black eyeshadow on me. I'll rely a little bit heavier on my bronzer and do a little bit less like highlighting with concealer, despite the fact that I used a light concealer today. Overall, I'm like very pleased with the way that it is making my complexion look, especially considering the state of my skin and how like dry and flaky I am on the lower half of my face in particular, and also around my nose. Like looking at it, my mirror is about 1.5 feet in front of me. My complexion looks flawless. Like unless I'm really, really focusing on certain areas, I can see like a tiny bit of dryness here. And when I look up close, I can see some dryness, but overall, like the fact that the rest of my face, including that like beautiful Milani bronze drop or whatever, and the blush, the L'Oreal blush, the combination on my cheeks, like that color just gives such a beautiful glow that it kind of like distracts from those areas of my face that are a little bit more dry. Oh, I said the eyes already. I absolutely love. Like I think the little Milani mini palettes are really, really beautiful. Super easy. I also picked up a cooler toned one. So let me know if you want to see a look with that. I haven't done a cool toned eye besides something like super bright and blue in a long time, and I really like the colors in here. Milani palettes are beautiful. I really like these eyeshadow sticks. Super easy to blend, very, very lightweight on the eyes, cooling, which is kind of nice. Sets in place, but doesn't, gives you enough blending time, which I always appreciate. I kind of wish all of the shades that I have are shimmery, and I kind of wish that I had a matte. I don't know if they have matte ones, so I'll have to look into that. The Flower Beauty eye pencil is pretty nice. It seems to be like sitting relatively well in my waterline, although in my like very outer corners I can see where it's kind of like rubbed away, I think because of my lashes kind of like dip down that way, which is like honestly pretty typical for me and not super noticeable. So other than that, it stayed put pretty well. Usually if a product isn't going to stay on my waterline, by now I would know, you know what I mean? The Flower Beauty Light Illusion Perfecting Powder, my assumption would be that this is a little bit more of a finishing powder. I think it worked well enough with like blurring certain areas of my face. My only problem is that like I'm all peely and dry in, the areas of my face that I wanted to use it. So I'm gonna have to keep using this to see like how worth it is. That's everything. Oh, the spray. So like this makes sense to me. It makes sense to me as like a final step of your makeup and you really need it to last forever. It totally makes sense. Like I get it. It smells like a hairspray. Like I have used hairsprays to keep my makeup in place in the past. So it's kind of nice to just like have this. It's not something that I would want to use all of the time, I think, because it probably contains quite a bit of alcohol. Where are the ingredients? Yeah, the first ingredient is alcohol denat, which is in a lot of stuff, but you can really smell it, So it's probably not going to be best. It's not something that you want to use every single day. That being said, seems pretty good. Seems like it could be a good dupe for the Patrick Star Mist. And again, I'll keep you updated on this, but I just like, I have really bad intuition. I've got a bad feeling about it. All right, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have picked up any of these products or if you're interested in any of these products or if you want to see me go more in depth with certain things or techniques surrounding these products or revolving around these products. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time. How do I lose my remote at the end of every video?